Hello. Today I want to talk to you about a myth, a misconception that we've been hearing a lot about electric cars. There's a few things in this world that I'm very, very passionate about. Vehicles, cars being one of them. And as much as I love the idea of electric cars, and I love electric cars because they're so fascinating, the power you can get out of them, I want to try to bust some myths about them in a phrase. We always hear that they're more environmentally friendly than your traditional car or truck or SUV. And to an extent, that is true. But to a further extent, that is not the case at all for the majority of the lifespan of the electric car. So currently, according to 8billiontrees.com, there's about 3 million electric cars in the U.S. at the moment. And this stat was as of last year. However, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they are estimating that 40 to 50% of all passenger car sales will be electric by the year 2030, which is 7 years away. Every manufacturer is coming out with electric cars at new rates, at new, everything is becoming electric. Dodge and Ford and Chevrolet have all announced that all of our, we have to have X amount of new electric cars by 2025 in California and 2030 by the rest of the U.S. So let's discuss the reasons why electric cars are not as environmentally friendly as you would believe. First and foremost is the range. The range of an electric car is, on average, 217 miles as of 2021. The max of an electric car as of 2021 was 520 miles. This info came from visualcapitalist.com. Your average gasoline or fossil fuel power car has a range of 413 miles, with a maximum of some vehicles being able to get 765 miles. So you're talking double the range with a standard car. Which, okay, the range isn't that important to some people who don't live in West Texas, who don't, it's not 4 hours, it's not 200 miles to drive to Dallas, it's not, if you live in New York, 200 miles is a lot. That can get you a long way because you're only driving 5 or 10 miles at a time, and there's charging stations everywhere. Out here, 200 miles is nothing. I mean, I work in the oil field, I drive anywhere between 5 to 800 miles a day. So if I had an electric vehicle, I would have to be stopping to charge it up multiple times a day. It can take, and this is an older stat, but it could take up to 40 to 50 hours to charge an electric car from 0% to full using your standard household outlet. Now, obviously, some Teslas have the fast chargers where you can charge from 0 to full in 15 to 30 minutes on average. However, it can take me 2 or 3 minutes to fill up my tank. The cost of an electric car is cheaper when it comes to filling it up because electricity is cheaper than fossil fuels. It's $5 or $6 to fill up an electric car from MD, but it's anywhere from $50 to $60 to fill up a fossil fuel powered car. So there's a big carbon offset there of the distance that you can go for the cost. I mean, because you're still talking $20 to fill up an electric car, which is great, but I would much rather have the range. I would much rather be able to drive the 500, 600 miles on a tank, which every vehicle I know of, apart from, certain work trucks that I've had, get anywhere from 18 to 20 miles a gallon. So you can go 500 or 600 miles on a tank fairly easily. The biggest offset, however, in the carbon footprint is the batteries. Batteries have to be mined. The metal for batteries have to be mined. So batteries, lithium-ion batteries, which are what is in electric cars, which is what's in your cell phones, it's in your watches, and everything has a lithium-ion battery. Those take very special metals. Nickel, which is found in the Philippines, lithium, which is found in the Andes Mountains, cobalt, which is found in the Congo, and copper, which is primarily found in Chile. Now, they're found elsewhere in the world, too. Canada has a really big nickel mine. But that's the main places that those are found and mined at the moment. So you have to mine it in the Philippines or in the Andes Mountains and then ship to Asia, because China, Japan, Germany, which is in Europe, but those are the places that are refining these metals to purify them enough to make them into a battery. And then they have to be shipped to Japan or China to be made into a battery. So now you're talking from South America to China, we're going to say China, and then to Japan to be made into a battery, then to the US. So you have cargo ships having to haul all that, plus the equipment and the manufacturing it takes to do all of that work. Versus your typical car battery is lead with acid in it. It's not, there's nothing special. Now, they do have lithium-ion batteries that you can put in your regular car battery. They're not recommended for that. They're not really used to that. They're not really up to that duty cycle. But those don't have near the carbon footprint of the shipments. The longevity of an electric car, according to Car and Driver, is anywhere from 8 to 12 years. 12 years ago, we were sitting at, 2011. How many of you are still driving around in a 2008, 2007, 2006 model vehicle? So the longevity is not there yet either. According to Car and Driver, again, the cost to replace a battery in a Tesla as of 2019 was anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 per battery bank. Teslas have multiple battery banks. That's how the cars work. They have multiple battery banks that power them. So if you're looking at $5,000 to $20,000 for one bank, and let's say 3 or 4 banks go out, well, all of a sudden you're looking at $60,000 to replace your battery. Your car's totaled at that point. Whereas an engine on a normal fossil fuel car is anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. So you can run through 3 or 4 engines before you would ever equal the cost of changing a solar or a single battery bank sometimes. So in conclusion, we learned that, or I hopefully explained, that electric cars, while possibly beneficial further down the line when technology is increased and gets better, right now the carbon footprint is not worth the initial cost and the extra cost that they will have. Again, I believe that electric cars are the way of the future, even though that will potentially put me out of a job. I do believe that they are the way of the future. I think that the potential for the technology is there, but that's still years down the line. And until then, I just don't think that fossil fuels will be going anywhere. Not to mention that the charging stations themselves are powered by fossil fuels still. Thank you.